Hello, welcome to my show. This is number one show in all world. So, welcome to my show that I'm on. Today I'm going to be reading from an old newspaper I found at my family's cabin from 1960. There's a lot of cool shit in here. This is the Arizona Republic from Thursday, September 8th, 1960. Fat Boy Institute member is out $100. Milwaukee, UPI. Richard Hinckley pleaded to a judge yesterday that when he boasted in a tavern that he was a member of the FBI, he meant the Fat Boys Institute. Hinckley, who is 5'7", weighs 160 pounds, said, "As you can see, I'm a little chunky." The judge agreed, but fined Hinckley $100 for impersonating a peace officer. There's so much good stuff in here. This is called Earl's Pearls by Earl Wilson. Paris. I hate to shatter the dreams of all my adorable lady readers, but the famous hand-kissing gallantry of France has vanished. It has gone down the Seine, saying, "Sen, sen." You see the bowing and hand-kissing now only in the older peristocracy, much of which is phony. The BW and I found, while driving through France, that a lot of Frenchmen are slobs. They're even slobbier than some of us. Sick burn. We saw women pitching hay in the fields just like in Russia. In Calais, we saw a strong-looking young man comfortably reading a paper in the lobby of his hotel, while his wife lugged our bags up 2 flights of stairs doing the bellboy job. I love how he's shitting on some guy for sitting down while his wife carries the bags up, but he's also just sitting there while that dude's wife is carrying whatever. I still wasn't able to believe that French chivalry was dead. After all, it's his wife. That's understandable, I said. We drove over to Reims, where a brawny mademoiselle played a bagagiste in our hotel. This femme de bellhop certainly did not look très charmant as she seized up a big suitcase in each hand and danced downstairs with it, past the mail porter who was unconcernedly studying his manicure. "Permettez-moi," I protested to the lady with a nice show of plain old Ohio-type politeness. "Oh no, monsieur, I'm used to it." She smiled, flexing her muscles. It kind of got ripped up, so I'm missing some stuff. Got some good coupons. A complete 6-piece sleep set, bed, mattress, box spring, sheet, pillowcase, mattress. $69. Have an ad for hand-cut crystal if you buy enough gasoline. Thrift City, sliced white bread, 23 cents. Nabisco Oreos, 39 cents. Household broom, 69 cents. Cornflakes, aluminum foils, American cheese. T-bone steak, 79 cents a pound. That's criminal. Graham crackers. There's an article about Russia and how the military commanders are also now sort of political leaders and they've got to pretend to be a certain way. Although I imagine that's kind of everywhere. A lawnmower for $25. I really like this one. Facsimile mail planned. Washington UPI. A facsimile mail transmission system that will whisk letters to their destination in less than 1 second will be placed in experimental operation next month, the Post Office Department announced yesterday. Only government documents will be transmitted during the experiment, which will be conducted between Washington, Chicago, and Lansing, Michigan. The department, in announcing the experiment, said it was not yet ready to offer the service to public and has not envisioned any rates. But the president of the Western Union Division of the Commercial Telegraphers Union, who denounced the plan as a socialistic scheme, said the post office actually planned to offer the service at a rate of 7 cents a letter. This newspaper was printed 59 years ago. It's unbelievable. You know, I think most kids these days probably wouldn't even know what a fax is, but this is like a news article talking about this brand new technology. That's so crazy. And then for them to kind of, someone comes in and shits on it, talking about how it's the Cold War must have still been going on. Was the Cold War still going on? Because they got to throw in that, you know, there's already an article about Russia, and then they got to throw in something about how the post office is a socialist organization. I think that's so cool. Ad for Toyota Land Cruiser. First thing I want to recommend is the album Live and Let Ghost by Jukebox the Ghost. Pretty sure I went and saw them back in 2005 when I hitchhiked to California. I heard I can play 17 seconds without getting taken down. Podcast I want to recommend, one of my favorite podcasts of all time is an NPR podcast called Radiolab. And the episode I want to recommend is called Oops. and it tells a few stories, but among them is how a Harvard professor might have accidentally created the Unabomber, and how some park rangers accidentally burned a forest down trying to save a specific type of bird.
You look stupid.
YouTuber I wanted to recommend is OKI's Weird Stories. Sort of a YouTube documentary, and tells the story of Dennis Rodman's love affair with North Korea, John McAfee, the sort of antivirus wunderkind that became a sort of paranoid drug kingpin, maybe, and the story of Uwe Boll, a movie director who challenged all of his critics to a boxing match. They actually came to a ring and boxed the director. So another thing I want to do is sort of feature local or small artists, and today I'm going to be reading some kind of short stories that my friend Liz Marcoline wrote. On my way home from work, I passed a billboard that said Hot Water Convention. I got really excited thinking about it. Imagine people cosplaying as water heater specialists or geothermal researchers. People are standing around saying things like, anyone who doesn't take showers at exactly 105.6 Fahrenheit is clearly doing it wrong and just doesn't appreciate the art. While someone else is turning up their nose and saying, oh my god, you still measure in Fahrenheit? How can anyone take you seriously? Celsius is the only way to accurately measure temperature, you classless simpleton. In the corner is a booth for tea lovers, and no one gets why they are there. They don't even really care about the hot water and are only here for the tea, but they paid premium for the booth, so no one says anything. The convention has an overwhelming scent of plumber butt crack, and any girl that shows up is immediately labeled as a fake hot water enthusiast girl. I am in for disappointment. I love that. I'm going to read two of them because they're short. So Liz used to work retail. I think she was working at Total Wine & More when she wrote this. I place your wine and whiskey in a bag. I pull the bag away from the stand and set them aside. We complete the transaction. The transaction the customer has been watching like a hawk. It is over and I say, have a nice day. I hold the bags out for the customer to take. The customer responds with, oh, I don't need a bag. The bottles start heating up. The glass is molten red and starts melting through the bag, and then the platform, then the floor. Soon they are visible to the naked eye as they sink further and further into the earth. Looks like hell is getting a bottle of mediocre Merlot and Jameson. Satan sighs. He hates Merlot. That's so funny. I love that. So I thought it might be entertaining. I'm going to just go kind of randomly through my box of ideas and see if there's anything good in here. Sneezing is an involuntary convulsion that causes the expulsion of the oxygen intake pathways to dislodge foreign invaders. Anyways, there's microorganisms in the air, and they're trying to, live in you. And so, I don't know, it's just an interesting adaptation that we developed to just, I don't know, I probably sound high. That's personal. Okay. This is kind of goofy, but I might as well start. No, I'm not going to talk about that. Because all of this shit's a little personal. He doesn't like George Michael. Find yourselves in the delirious visions of the primitive man, connected by a single strand of code to all of those who have come before you. Feel the same feelings they once felt with reason: anxiety, depression, jealousy, envy, hatred, fear, disgust, pride. All serve their purpose for the primitive man that lived for thousands of generations, survived and passed on their code when many others did not. You are the heir to the shit that won, the shit that survived. You are I don't know where that went. I was reading a lot of Jung at that point. No, I found it. You are the newest in a line as old as time, a complex projection of dreams and nightmares, teeth and flesh, striving constantly, hypervigilant for the one opportunity to secure your legacy, to not let down your primordial ancestors. Feel their emotions and use them wisely. Realize you can now live in a world completely of your own choosing, and it might not be the best one for you. The same intuitions that kept you safe from predators might lock you in your home, your bed, your brain. Ooh, that was actually pretty good. I like that. I was reading a lot of Jung at the time, and I was trying to figure out, I'm kind of an emotional person, trying to figure out why, we live in this world where we have these emotions that aren't really suited for our world. You know, like there's very little need for the sort of anxiety or paranoia that I feel, at least. It was sort of interesting to think about from an evolutionary standpoint where those emotions came from, and that in a certain world it's helpful to be those things. You know, it may suck being anxious, but there are worlds in which being an anxious motherfucker, that's going to keep you alive. You know, I heard something interesting. I'm paraphrasing here, but it's like, you know, if you're the kind of person who thinks you heard a noise in that bush all the time, that might drive you nuts. But if there's something in the bush, it might keep you from being eaten. And if you're the kind of person who, you know, goes, it's nothing, you might get eaten. So I don't know, just a thought. Anyways, hope you liked the show. I don't know, got a lot of editing to do, but keep it real. Stop! I can't stop at the finger guns. Keep it real. If you have any ideas, anything you'd like to see or hear me talk about, that's it. Please like, subscribe, share, all that shit if you thought it was cool. I have one subscriber on YouTube, so I'm kind of a big deal. This is my one subscriber dance. If you want to do something that involves more than just the shoulders, you should subscribe and see what happens when I get to, like, I don't know, 2 subscribers.